Hey guys, welcome back to the Real Southern Garden, and today is vegetable garden and cut flower garden tour day. So I've been waiting to do this video for a little while, and I'll tell you there is no perfect time to do it, because first we had just a little bit of rain and things were looking good, but everything was short and not really producing yet. And then we entered the drought time where we've had no rain and everything is just barely hanging on. And then I had some squirrels attack my tomatoes as well, which I've never had a squirrel problem up here on this hill. Usually the hawks take care of them. My farm dogs will definitely take care of them, but I don't let them out during the day. They bark a ton. They've kind of had to stop their farm dog duties for a little while because they wake up my baby. So, you know, different stages of life, we just do what we got to do. So I picked a ton of tomatoes that were green yesterday. They're in my house. Hopefully most of them are going to ripen and be pretty tasty. We're going to fry up a couple for some fried green tomatoes too. But, you know, with Mother Nature and gardening, you just do what you got to do, and you have to work with her, and things happen. You find ways around it. Now you're going to see around my garden that I have that Deer X mesh. I talk about it all the time. Did a video back in February about it. This is what I use. I keep the deer out of my garden. But for the little squirrels, if I don't talk about it all the time, did a video back in February about it. This is what I use. I keep the deer out of my garden. But for the little squirrels, if I don't tamp it down and have like bricks around the whole border, which I forget to do it, they get in and the squirrels attack. I don't have a ton of deer pressure. I probably have like 6 deer, okay? So I'm not like some people. If you have a ton of deer and they're desperate, they're probably going to eventually, this spooks them. They touch it with their nose and they run off. But if you have a ton of deer pressure, maybe they're gonna be brazen enough to not be scared and go through it anyway. But for me, for 5 years and running, I've never had a deer go through it. So there you go. And we do have, like I said, 6 or 7 deer around here. But I think you're going to enjoy the tour. I've got some beautiful cut flowers growing, some zinnias, some cosmos, lots of oranges. I plant lots of oranges because I usually have them reach their peak around late summer, and I like that orange color for late summer, early fall. And we've got butternut squash in the ground. They're taking off. I've got tons of, not zucchini, cucumbers right now. My summer squash are just starting. I planted everything in like mid to late June, so I do things a little different. I think next year I'm going to flip-flop it, work on this garden first. Tomatoes, like I said, they got attacked by squirrels. It is what it is. I'm going to show you those anyway. They don't seem to bother the little cherry tomatoes. They are doing great. And we've got a random, I think it's called a Chinese melon. I'm not even sure. It's doing well, whatever it is. I'll have to find the seed packet. And I've got a bunch of watermelon that are planted. They're just taking off. Tiny, jackby little pumpkins. They're not really growing too much yet, but lots of good stuff. So let's get started. All right, so we're going to start off over here. One of my favorite parts of having this garden up here is all of the butterflies that these Benary's giant zinnias attract. Boy, do I love them. These were planted like the first week of June to second week of June. And they are getting really tall, and they'll go for me about until frost. And I like to kind of clump the colors together. A few got, you know, sporadically mixed in, but I do the reds and then I fade them into purple. And then there are a few whites in here, but they're not supposed to be on this side, but they are. But this guy is about spent. This red is one of my favorite colors. I mean, I love all of the colors, but I use them for cut flowers. Sometimes I'll take them to my little girl's dance studio, take them a bouquet of the purples because that's their color over there at the dance studio. Look at this red. You just can't beat zinnias. Benary's giant zinnias. They are so easy to grow. Eventually they will get some black spot, or excuse me, powdery mildew. I don't worry too much about it. I just let them go as long as they can. And back here, I don't worry about my beds being perfect. This is a cut flower garden, so it's not front and center on my property, it's in the back. And I keep it weeded enough for things to grow, but it's not mulched, and it isn't perfect, that's for sure. But this is really for me and for the butterflies and all of the hummingbirds that are out here. And I'm telling you, I love zinnias. My great aunt grew a ton of zinnias, and I know that she would love to see all of these, and I sure wish she could. And then as we come along over here, these are my coneflowers. These were planted in July, which is really tough for any plant, especially in a full sun garden. They're doing okay. I think they're gonna establish and be all right. It's just really, really hot for them. I water them twice a day. They look a little sad right now because they, of course, droop this time of the day. There is a little random sunflower there, but hopefully they're gonna take and they're gonna flourish here in this spot. It's very well draining soil in this area, very dry. And then I've got another zinnia. This is a butterfly bush that we recently put in. It should get very, very tall and wide. Probably be about 6 to 8 feet wide and tall. It smells so good. It smells like candy. Then I've got some butterfly weed here for the monarchs. And we are going to buy some of the little monarch caterpillars that you raise, and we're gonna do that very soon. My daughter and I, our little science project. And then we've got some more zinnias right here. And I'm just gonna give you a little quick pan of this garden bed. And then we're gonna go look at the other side. Okay, so right here, I used to have another row of flowers, but I left it open because my dogs usually run back and forth. But since I put up this fence, of course, they can't do that anyway. So probably should have planted something else there. But anyway, we have got 2 rows right here of cut flowers, and those are the Benary's Giant Orange. And then we've got some Cosmos on the right side. And I'm gonna take you back real quick for a closer look. And then we're gonna look at the tomatoes and the veggies. Let me just give you a quick pan too. Here you go, of the whole garden. And that in the back, by the way, is our giant sunflower. We have a couple. There's one there, and there's one right here. But our tallest one is this guy, and we named it Sunny. So I planted them to bloom right around my daughter's birthday, my oldest daughter, who turned 7 on August 6th. And looks like it's gonna make it pretty much right on time. So people always ask about my deer fence and how I use it to go under it. I just pull it up with the little clips. These are bamboo stakes. Everything is linked if you're interested. And I just duck under. That's what I do. So let's head under and let me show you these cut flowers. So I also have some ornamental squash planted here. They're like the little pumpkin ones, but they're not coming up, and I don't know if they're going to, but I tried them this year for the first time right here. And then over here are the Benary's Giant Orange and a couple yellow. And they are looking gorgeous. I love this orange color, especially in the fall and late summer. And that's why I planted a giant clump of them, because I thought, well, by the time they really get big, it's gonna be that time of year. And it is. And the butterflies just love them. And then I've got some different colors right here on the end. But you just cannot beat this orange. I just think they are gorgeous. Aren't they gorgeous? And the butterflies totally agree. And then here is our giant sunflower Sunny. I mean, it's about to bloom. It's gonna make it right about her birthday. So I did right by that. It is probably gonna, oh gosh, I don't know, 14 feet high. And then over here, these are the Oklahoma white zinnias with one Benary's Giant Pink that's mixed in there. I'm really not sure how the pink one, it might have self-seeded from a previous year, but the pink is very beautiful too. The Oklahoma white are a little bit smaller. They do hold up really well to rain, I can tell you that. I haven't cut any, actually I take it back. I did cut a couple and bring them in the house, but I do seem to like them better than the Benary's white, because that one kind of had a lot of green in it, and this one stays very true to being white. So if you're looking for something like that, you might want to try those. They're just a little smaller than the Benares Giants. And then these cosmos are just starting to bloom. But it's the Robenza mix. You can see what the color is going to be like. It's kind of like a crimson color. And also planted those for a late season color because that's what I like this time of year. And then those in the back are looking fantastic. And I've used cardboard on all of these rows, and I brought in all this mulch by hand without a tractor this year. Maybe do it different next year and top it off. It was a lot of work. Over here, I've got my blueberry tomatoes, and you can see when they're ripe, they turn like a yellow color. This one is not ripe. I picked a ton yesterday, but there's some down there that are ripe. And I have 2 rows of tomatoes. So I've got over here and over here. Now I wish I could have like all of this be cut flowers and then still have tomatoes too, but it would just be too much. I just keep taking over more of our yard back here which is not a bad thing, but it's a lot to maintain. So I need to kind of keep it the size that it is currently. Another sunflower in the back. And then there's some more ripe blueberry tomatoes. You can see how they turn like a golden kind of yellowy color. And then they turn redder, but they're never like a true red. And then I have Dr. Wychee. I picked most of them yesterday, like I said, because squirrels were getting them. But back there you can see some. The big 1-pounders, I picked them all and took them in the house. But Dr. Wychee tomatoes, I also have Roma tomatoes in here, and I also have Better Boy tomatoes. The great thing about the little ones, the little blueberry tomatoes, nothing seems to bother them pest-wise. They're very hardy. And I also had another variety that I grew up by the house that did really well. There's some more that are ripe. Those are ready to come in. I'll have to come out here with my bucket. And then let me show you what I got at the front. Before I show you the very front where the stock tanks are, which are new for us this year, newly set up. We've had them for a while, but not set them up. This is my daughter's little garden patch. She's got a giant butternut squash here. She's got some zinnias over there. And in the back, that's my area. Those are all sweet potatoes in grow bags. And they're doing pretty well after they start out slow. Things really eat them when they're little, like pests, I'm not exactly sure, pincher bugs or something. And then they get over that hump and they do just fine. So they're looking good right now. And then I've got another butternut squash, and I think I've got a little Jack B. little pumpkin back there growing. Look at the shade that the sunflower gives. Love it. Over here, you can see the other sunflower. And now let's go around to the front like I promised you. So right here, I have, looks like there's another tomato ripening right there. I need to grab that before something else eats it. That's getting really big, my cucumbers. It's been a great year for cucumbers until the last week. It's been so hot, like in the high mid-90s, and everything just starts to fry at that point. Up here on the hill, it's very, very, very hot. It's all full sun. And even the full sun plants, of course, gave them a run for their money. What can you say? I wouldn't want to be out here all day, that's for sure. A little sunflower there. This is that some kind of Chinese melon. You can see it right there. I'm curious to see how it tastes. I've got another little Jack B. little pumpkin growing right there. And then I've got some sweet potatoes in the back, sweet potatoes over here, 3 butternut squash on this row. And then in the stock tanks, this one needs to be fertilized. You can see that it is lacking nitrogen. When your plants start turning this yellow color, it's an issue. And I know what's going on with that one because I have some wood, some sticks at the bottom that are not well rotted, and it's pulling nitrogen down from the soil. So I need to get fertilizer on that. And then sweet potatoes right here, some peppers here that are, it's been a rough year for peppers too, but anyway, there they are. And then we have some sweet potatoes, and then over here, a couple sweet potatoes and a summer squash, which next year I'm going to do my summer squash earlier. And I had some beans, but it's just too hot right now for green beans. So we're gonna plant them in the fall and redo this with green beans for the fall. And then over here, of course, it's just the other side of the vegetable garden. And then in the back, I have a little mulch spot with some chairs where I sit, and I'm looking for a table to put between them back there. And this is my spot to get out of the heat because, whew, it is hot. But we're having a cool front coming in, an early cool front next week. And I am looking forward to that. It's gonna be some great gardening weather. We're looking at highs of like 75 for a couple days here in the greater Atlanta area. And it's an early fall present to us all. We can't wait. And let me show you really quick up here. We haven't run irrigation. We are gonna run a water line up here eventually, a little bit closer, but I've got this giant hose. This reminds me, I call it my firefighter hose because it is extremely heavy duty yet flexible. Heavy hose, it goes, oh my gosh, I mean, we have it stretched probably an acre. We have 2 of them together. You may or may not have a situation like mine, but if you do, this is my saving grace. This waters my garden up here, and it is a fantastic hose. It doesn't get all bendy and weird and all of that, so it's really great. And that is it, guys. I hope that you liked today's video. And if you did, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Let me know what kind of flowers you're growing from seed this year. And it is hot, so I'm gonna get inside. I've got some errands to run for my daughter's birthday. It's tomorrow, so I gotta get going. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you back here in the next video. Bye, guys.